Namaste. My name is Ethan, and today we will be going through Sun Salutation A. Now, many of these postures you may have heard of, upward dog, downward dog, but if you're new to yoga, you might not know the exact alignment, or you may feel uncomfortable moving from one position to the next. So today we're going to take it nice and slow. If you're new to yoga, if you just want a refresher, you're in the right place. So let's get started today. In hands and knees, tabletop position. So our shoulders are over our wrists and our hips are over our knees. And we're just going to do some cat-cow. Inhale, opening through your heart, arching your back. And then as you exhale, rounding your spine. Now it's not part of Sun A. Inhale for cow. But it's really nice to help to start warm up the body. And exhale, rounding your spine. Good, one more inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. Nice, coming back onto your heels and just doing a couple of wrist circles. One way and then the other. You can spread your fingers nice and wide. And then coming down onto the mat and just putting a little bit of weight into your wrists, maybe turning them to the side, really just swirling them around, giving them a nice warm-up. It's a quick class, so quick warm-up. And now we're gonna plant our hands and step back to a plank position. You can always keep your knees on the ground here. Actually, let's all keep our knees on the ground. And then slowly lower our chest all the way to the ground. Good. So from here, we're gonna go into Cobra. From Cobra, we have our hands where our chest and our ribs meet. And then we're gonna press into the ground. And ideally, the full pose is you straighten your arms as much as you can while keeping your hips on the ground. Now, most people are here or even lower, especially if it's your first time doing yoga, you're going to be down here. So you can lift your hands off the ground just to start to build up the back muscles. But keeping your elbows next to your side, pressing up. This is your cobra. Keeping your shoulders away from your ears. And slowly lower back down. Good, we'll do a couple together. Inhale, pressing into the ground. Again, shoulders away from your ears, opening through your chest, straightening your arms a little bit more. And exhale, lower back down. And one more. Inhale for cobra. And exhale, lower back down. Now, the difference between cobra and upward facing dog is in upward facing dog, we lift our knees off of the ground and we straighten our arms fully. So we actually want to slide our hands down our sides a little bit further and then pressing into the ground, straightening our arms as much as we can. You see how my knees lift up off of the ground and I'm pressing into the tops of my feet. That's your upward facing dog. If you can't do that right now, no worries. You'll get there at some point. And drop your knees, slowly lower back down to the ground. And this time we're going to work on the transition from cobra or upward facing dog, yogi's choice, to downward facing dog. So as you inhale, coming up to your favorite back bend. And as you exhale, you can come onto your knees, tuck your toes, and then press your hips back for downward facing dog. And in downward dog, we want our fingers nice and spread, hands shoulder distance apart, and pointer fingers pointing forwards or slightly outwards. Bending your knees slightly, your feet are hips distance apart. Bending your knees and see if you could shift your hips back a little bit more. And then maybe over time you can start to straighten your knees, bringing your heels towards the ground. But bending them at first is important because it allows our spine to really lengthen. So again, shifting forward, bringing your knees to the ground, untuck the toes, slowly lowering down to the ground. We'll work on that transition one more time. Taking an inhale for cobra or upward facing dog, and exhale, shifting back into downward facing dog. Beautiful work. Now slowly step your foot one at a time all the way to the front of the mat. So you're standing towards the front of the mat in a forward fold, bringing your feet a little bit apart. And now you can just grab your elbows, maybe gently swaying side to side. This is called forward fold. You can bend your knees a little bit here to allow your spine to lengthen a little bit more. Perfect. And now taking a halfway lift, pressing your hands into your shins and flattening out your back. So the chest pulls forward, the crown of the head pulls forward. I'll turn so the camera can see my flat back. That's halfway lift. And now fold once again. Either your hands can dangle or you can grab the opposite elbow. Good. As you inhale, circling the arms all the way up, coming into a standing position, looking up, and exhale, hands to your heart. Good. So this is called Tadasana, mountain pose. You can bring your hands to your side. In mountain pose, feet a little bit apart, squeezing your inner thighs, upper inner thighs towards each other, squeezing your glutes, pulling your shoulders back and down, palms facing forwards. And that's everything you need to know to do a Sun A salutation. So let's move through that once all together, and then we'll call it a day. So as you inhale, rising your arms up to the sky, and exhale, folding down to a forward fold. Good. Inhale for halfway lift, that flat back that we talked about earlier. And exhale, bring your hands to the ground. You can come to your knees if you'd like. Slowly lower your chest all the way to the ground. Inhale, taking a cobra or an upward facing dog like we worked on earlier. And as you exhale, transitioning into downward facing dog. Good. We'll take 3 breaths here. We typically take 3 breaths in our Sun Salutation A. Let's do it all together. Into the belly, up into the chest, a little bit more, and release. Good. On the inhale, lift your heels off of the ground. And on the exhale, slowly step your feet towards your hands. So you're in a standing forward fold. Inhale, hands to your shins, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold once again. Inhale, circling the arms, rising all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands to your side. So that's your Sun Salutation A. I hope you learned something today, and I hope I'm in the frame. Thank you so much for coming today and spending your time with me. I sincerely hope that you continue to come back day after day to your mat, because this is how we improve. And we're walking through it nice and slow. After you do this a few times, the movements will start to connect. You won't have to think about it so much, and then you can start to focus on your breath a little bit more. It'll bring you into your body, into this state of bliss. And I'm very excited for you to continue your yoga journey. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your day.